Hello, dear students. Very good morning. I am Vaibhav Shah. This is subject OC, and we are discussing chapter number 4, that is organizing. In last two sessions, we discussed about the introduction, definition, and concept of organizing. And today we are going to discuss the characteristics of organizing. But before that, there may be question in your examination like explain the meaning and characteristics of organizing. So you have to write the meaning first and then there will be the characteristic. So let us discuss the definition once again. That is the definition of Chester I. Bernard, that the activity conducted by the cooperation of two or more people and their coordination is called organizing. So you may write any of the definition from these two and can start writing about the characteristics of organizing. So now let us move towards the characteristics. Here we are having total 9 characteristics. If it is asked in a 3 mark, then you have to write each and every characteristics within 2 or 3 lines. But if it is asked in a 2 marks only, then you have to only mention or list out the characteristics which are given over here. So let us start with first characteristics, that is goal-oriented activity. The organizing is created for the sake of achieving the goal of any business unit. In the business unit, the main objective as well as departmental objective or sub-goals are also determined. In addition to that, there are also the individual goals of the employees. Hence, organization is linear structure that coordinates with the goals of business, departmental goals and goals of employees. Hence, it can be also referred as a goal-oriented activity. So, if you remember or if you have noticed that in each and every functions, whether it is the function of management or characteristics of management or it is the characteristics of planning, organizing, staffing or directing, the first characteristics is almost common in all of these questions, and that is goal-oriented activity. Because in management, no other activities or no activities is there who are doing without any purpose or goal. So it is easy to remember that if it is asked about any of the characteristics of any topic, whether it is planning, organizing, staffing, directing or controlling, the first one will be the goal-oriented activity. So let us discuss this point in a detail. The organizing is created for the sake of achieving the goal of any business unit. As we discussed in last lecture, that the planning is an intellectual process where we can plan for each and every activities, while organizing is an implementation process where we are implementing the planning done at the top level. So the organizing is created for the sake of achieving the goal of any business unit which is decided at the planning level. In the business unit, the main objective as well as departmental objective or sub goals are also determined. As we all knows that there are 3 different levels of management are there. Out of them, the top level management is the supreme authority of organization, and they are deciding the goal, purpose or objective for whole organization. We can say it is the decision which will be taken without any kind of headings or subheadings. While at middle level management, these objectives are distributed among the different departments and then it becomes the departmental objectives, or we can say the sub goals, because the goal which is divided among different departments, that is the role of a marketing department is different than the role of a finance department. The role of HR is different than that of the production. So the main objective which is decided at the top level is divided among the departmental, and it becomes the departmental objectives or sub goals are also determined. So let us take one example. Our main objective is to grab the A1 grade in standard 12th final board examination. But when it is divided among different subjects, then we can easily identify all those subjects which are helpful in getting the good marks, that is either 95, 98 or 100 out of 100. Or there are some of the subjects which can be identified as a above average subject and which will be helpful in getting the marks between 80 to 95. So it is the objective or sub goals are also determined. Our total main objective is A1 grade, while different departmental, that is the different subjects goal, is also determined. So in organizing also the main goal and sub goals are determined. Then in addition to that, there are also the individual goals of the employees. It means now we are able to differentiate between the departmental goals and individual goals. So if we are taking in a sequence, then starting from first, then it is overall objectives, then departmental objectives, then individual objectives. The sum total of individual objectives is become the departmental objective, and the sum total of departmental objective is become the total objective of the organization. Hence, organization is a linear structure that coordinates with the goal of the business, departmental goals and goals of employees. So it is some kind of a linear structure that is on the vertical line, starting from the overall goals of the organization or goals of business. Then second one is a departmental goals, that is the subdivision of the goal of business, and then we'll be having goals of employees, which is the subdivision of departmental goals. So it is in a linear, or we can say in a sequence, starting from total goals to departmental goals to goals of employees, and hence it can be also referred as a goal oriented activity. So by this way we can say that the organizing is a goal oriented activity where overall goal and departmental goal is determined, and based on that the actual work is taken place. Now second point or second characteristics is planning based. Organization is made on the basis of planning, and objectives are determined by planning. Hence, before organizing, it is necessary to have proper planning. The structure of any unit is based on its future implementation of plan. Hence, it can be said that organization is based on proper planning. As we discussed earlier that first of all we are making a plan, or there should be a planning activity in which intellectually we are deciding each and every activity, or we are deciding the overall goal of the organization, while organizing is the structure or format through which we can achieve the goals which are decided by the planning level. So organization is made on the basis of planning and objectives determined by planning. So in first step we are deciding the overall objective of the organization, and we are making planning that who will do the work, when, how much time it will take to complete the work, etc. etc. Hence before organizing, so before implementing all these policies or before organizing, it is necessary to have proper planning, because without proper planning the overall objective is not decided, and by that way we cannot organize the activity, and organizing is also not there. So for organizing the precondition is planning, or we can say the organization or the organizing is planning best. The structure of any unit, that is the structure of any business unit, is based on its future implementation of plan, because it is not only the plan that becomes effective but its implementation too. It means as there is proper planning, so there will be the proper implementation too. Or we can say, if we want to properly implement the plans, then there should be the proper planning is there. So the structure of any unit is based on its future implementation of plan. So it is according to the future implementation of plan, that is what will be the future, and that's why the planning is necessary, and hence it can be said that organization is based on proper planning. Now third point is the delegation of authority and responsibilities. This is the same point as we discussed in the Henry Fayol's 14 principle, and it is the second principle that is given by the Henry Fayol. The people working towards achievement of a common goal are allotted work as per their capabilities and their skills. At the same time, such a person is also informed about their authority. Hence, organizing is the structure to establish relationship of authority and responsibility among the people. Now, as we all know that authority and responsibilities is the two sides of a same coin, because without authority the responsibility cannot be fulfilled, or without responsibility the authority is useless. And that's why there should be the proper weightage given to both the authority and responsibility in the organization. And without proper delegation, the functioning of the organization is not that much smoothen. Now, the people working towards achievement of a common goal are allotted work as per their capabilities and their skills. It is one of the principle or matter given by the F.W. Taylor in his scientific management principle, that the people are given a work as per his category. So here they are focusing on the capabilities and the skill of a particular person. So in organization, all of those who are working are focusing on a common goal, then their common goal is some kind of production or some kind of fulfillment of duties. So all those people who are working towards achievement of a common goal are allotted work. Their work will be different based on their area of specialization or expertise, but their goal is common. So the work allotted to them will be according to their capabilities and their skills, or we can say it should be according to his educational or other qualifications. And if he becomes eligible, then and then the work should be allotted to him. At the same time, it means when we are allotting a work to someone, at the same time such a person is also informed about their authority, because it is not possible at all that the fulfillment of task can be done without proper authority. So when a person is working in an organization, he should inform about their authority, and hence organizing is the structure to establish relationship of authority and responsibility among the people, because in organizing we are deciding the level of authorities and responsibilities in a linear manner, that at the top level there will be the board of directors and general managers who are having the highest level of authority and responsibility, while at middle level the managers are there who are possessing the authority and responsibility regarding their department and working area only, while at the bottom level there should be the proper authority and responsibility according to their work areas only. It means to the task allotted to them. So, organizing is a structure. It is a one kind of format which is established relationship of authority and responsibility among the people who are working in the organization. Now, fourth characteristics is importance to human element. In organizing, human beings are at the center. The success of any organization is dependent on the people who are working in it. Hence, for effective organizational structure, effective human relation establishment is necessary. Now let us discuss this point because as we all know that the management is about the human elements and it is the planning or it is the activity which can be done by a human and for the human beings. So in organizing, human beings are at the center because here we are deciding different activities to be undertaken in the organization so that each and every task will be completed within a particular time period. So in organizing, human beings are at the center because all the activities are moving around these persons only. The success of any organization is dependent on the people who are working in it. It is the main element. Please line this statement. In any of the organization, the human element is the main element, or the success and failure of any organization is dependent on the people who are working in it. If the people who are working in the organization are efficient enough and dedicated to their work, then success of the organization will become easy. But if the peoples are not qualified enough or they are not efficient, then the success of the organization will be at a very different stage and sometimes it may result into failure. Hence, for effective organizational structure, it means here we are deciding some of the rules and responsibilities regarding working areas. Effective human relation establishment is necessary because without this human relation establishment, it is not proper to delegate the authority and responsibility towards them. Now, let us move towards the fifth point, that is flexibility. When once the organization is formed, there are chances for change in the same. Suitable changes can be made according to changing circumstances or situations. The changes or variations can be made when there are major changes in the business environment, technological advancement, or new discoveries. Now, flexibility. Flexibility in organization structure is in the way that there are constantly changing in the power and responsibility and authority in the organization due to promotion, demotion, transfer, or retirement. And when the organizing is facing such kind of situation, it should be necessary that there should be some kind of flexibility is there where we can tolerance this kind of changes and make the changes according to the situation. So let us discuss this point in a detail. When once the organization is formed, there are chances for change in the same. As we all know that in today's global competitive era, joint stock company format is very useful to fight against this different kind of competition. But there are some of the persons who are at the top are knowing as a board of directors, and sometimes it may happen that they are also getting retired, and at that time the owners or the management authority of the organization will also change. So think, if the owners itself is changing in the organization, then there are the chances of major changes is also there in the organization. So once the organization is formed, it means once the structure, once the format is decided, there are chances for changes in the same, because it may happen that sometimes we are adding some of the core areas in the organization structure, and sometimes we are dropping some of the unnecessary functional area from this format, and at that time it is necessary to change according to the change in time. So once the organization is formed, there are chances for change in the same, and suitable changes can be made according to changing circumstances or situation. Say for example, the company itself working in a linear organizational structure only, where there is only single authority and responsibility chain from top to bottom. But due to change in the circumstances, company receives big orders from the different customers. Now it becomes necessary for them to start a project also, where the project manager is the main authority who will undertake the work of a order fulfillment. So now same time the organization has to accept the matrix structure, where there will be the two lines of authority and responsibility, where one single line is of the traditional work, that is on the linear organization structure, while the other one is the project structure, it is based on the project manager. So suitable changes can be made according to changing circumstances or situation. So in this situation, the linear organization will be converted into matrix organization, and there will be the two lines of authority and responsibility or commanding position. So it may happen that according to the change in time or circumstances, we have to make necessary changes in the organization structure also. Next, the changes or variations can be made when there are major changes in the business environment. First of all, there are so many factors that are affecting business. Either they are internal factors or external factors. If it is internal factors, then it can be controllable. It means the organization with its efforts can control the internal factors. But if it is external factors, then it is out of the reach of the organization, and organization cannot control, but organization has to change according to changes take place in the external factors. So the changes or variation can be made when there are major changes in the business environment. So if the external factors affecting the business are changing, then the organization has to make some of the necessary changes regarding it. Technological advancement, it means if there are technological advancement, or we can say new technology is taking place in place of the old technology, then also we have to make necessary changes regarding the changes in the organization structure or new discoveries. It means whenever there is new production technique or production process, or the new product is taking place or taking place of the old product, then also it is necessary to make changes according to the circumstances in the organization structure. Now next one, that is characteristics number 6, is establishment of interrelationships. The organizing establishes interrelationship among work, positions or divisions. It gives clarifications about the relationship of one work with the other work and one division with the other divisions. Now, this point is focusing on establishment of interrelationship. In any of the organizing process, instead of deciding the role and position of a person, here we are deciding the activities to be undertaken, sub-activities which will be helpful to the main activities, and we are recording a proper structure that will be helpful in achievement of a target. So once we are deciding all these activities, then there should be some kind of interrelationship is necessary amongst them, so that each and every activity can be taken in a smoothly manner. So the organizing establishes interrelationship among work. First of all, at middle level, when we are having different kind of departments are there, like production department, human resource department, finance department, HR department, etc. And when their managers are there, then there should be proper interrelationship among work. It means they are interdependent on each other, and based on these characteristics they have to focus on the interrelationship, that is they are in the same line. Second one is a position. So position is based on general manager, then departmental head, then officer, then executive, then supervisor, then worker, etc. Or division, that is the division either based on the activities or based on the product or based on the divisional areas or geographical areas. So there should be a proper establishment of interrelation among this work, position or division, which will be helpful in smooth working of the organization. Next, this interrelationship gives clarification about the relationship of one work with the other work. It means whenever the marketing department requires a fund for advertising or personal selling or promotional activities, then they may ask for it to the finance department. When production department wants to make any kind of production planning, then also they have to ask to the finance department, and finance department is getting order from the general manager or board of directors. So there should be proper relationship of one work with other work and one division with the other division. When they are working in the same line of authority, then they are called as a colleagues or peers. But when there is a relationship between them at a different level of management, then they should be known as a superior and subordinates. And by that way, their interrelationship is also decided. So the interrelationship is regarding one work with other work, one division with other division, and their position and power also. Next one is the characteristics number 7. Monitoring and control. Monitoring, control and coordination are the basic requirements of any organization. Whether the employee is performing his task as per the powers and responsibilities assigned to him or not. For such matter, provisions of monitoring and control are found in organizing. So here there should be the monitoring and control. It means once the task is assigned to a particular person or delegation of authority and responsibility is there, then also there will be the proper chain that conduct the monitoring on the activities of that particular person or department, and by that way they can monitor, and if there is a deviation in any of the activities, that if there is a variation or there is a gap between the actual performance and expectation, then it can be correct by the way of controlling. So next one is a monitoring, control and coordination are the basic requirement of any organization. Line this statement. First of all, we have to monitor that whether the activities are going as per the planning or not. And coordination means the different tasks or different activities should be connected in such a way they will be helpful to each other, and that are the basic requirements of any organization. Whether the employee is performing his task as per the powers and responsibility assigned to him or not. It means the employees are constantly in the monitoring of other employees or supervisors, where they are seeing that whether the employee is performing his task as per the powers and responsibilities assigned to him or not. And for such matters, provisions of monitoring and control are found in organizing. And as we all knows that there are different kind of supervisors are assigned for this particular task, where they are monitoring the activities or performance of the employees, and they are making necessary changes whenever it is necessary for the betterment of the plan or if there is a deviation. So, the main work of the monitoring and control is to see that whether the employee is performing his task as per the power and responsibility assigned to him or not, and if they are not working according to the power and responsibility, then they can be corrected with the help of control. And for such matters, provisions of monitoring and control are found in organizing. So with this particular point, we are concluding our session over here. Now there is only 2 points left, that is group activities and controlled administrative structure. That and the steps of the process of organizing, that are basically 7 steps, we will discuss in the next lecture itself. Thank you very much, class.